All right, tonight we have some brand new reporting on crime in D.C. When 2023 came to an end, the district saw its deadliest year since 1997. And you know, these numbers right here are really a sobering reminder of the reality and long-lasting impact of crime in our city.
From the families who are grieving to the neighborhoods and even communities that are trying to heal from it all. WUSA 9's Simone D'Alba is here with a closer look at the lives lost and plans moving forward to curb the violence. Simone?
Well, Leslie Zoe, of course, you hear us often talk about the crime. It impacts you every single day. You live with it, navigate around it, trying to keep yourself and your family safe in the midst of it. As we've heard some of you express, it feels unsettling. It feels like the crime is getting worse, and you're not imagining it. 2023 was the deadliest year in decades here in Washington, D.C. In fact, the numbers so high, they haven't been seen since the late 90s. Well, tonight, we wanted to go beyond those numbers. 274 people were killed this year. Fathers, brothers, sisters, mothers, children, your neighbors, members of your community. Across all 8 wards in 2023,
Trevon Wilson,
Washington, D.C.'s homicide rate
Brendan Ufon,
reaching a 26-year high, 274 lives lost. D.C. neighbors reacting to those deaths.
it's not just names, it's families. Like, these are 270 families, community members, like sons, daughters, brothers, sisters. It's not just their names.
being a native Washingtonian, it's kind of sad to see the state that the city is in.
These are some of the faces of those lost. Mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, and children.
We're definitely seeing younger and younger people involved in these homicides. Some of them are saying, I can't walk away, and I have a gun in my hand, so this is what I'm going to use. And it's only later that they realized I picked the wrong decision.
Through the lens of crime scene tape and chaos, MPD homicide inspector Kevin Kentish has seen every single one.
We're having homicides in places that I've never been to. We're having homicides historically in areas that we've never had homicides before.
Are there any particular cases that keep you up at night?
They all do. You're standing over somebody who just lost a life.
The majority of victims lost to gunfire.
We're seeing cases now where simple arguments lead to people producing the guns. Everybody has a gun right now.
Maxwell Emerson,
Kahil Thomas,
Vincent Martin,
whether it's like targeted violence or random violence, it's like, how did that person get there? The desperation that reflects is really what we need to be working on.
With 40 homicides for every 100,000 residents, D.C. ranked 5th nationally for per capita murder rates. That was 35% higher than 2022. And while all of D.C.'s communities have seen an increase in homicides, it's the people in the underserved wards of 7 and 8 east of the river who have seen the most.
generational cycle. It's a bigger issue than just 2023 and the fact that it's a rise in homicides. I grew up here and saw the 1980s.
Dezoy Suckerman,
Each name, not just another number or statistic.
My son was killed with a war gun.
Each name a life and a story that ended in a moment.
Great kid, smiles all the time. He's a gentle giant. He can't be intimidating, but once you meet him, he just smiles a lot. Loves to cook, loves to bake, loves his job.
Happy birthday.
21-year-old Kamal Jones was among those lost last year.
So he was just going to the store, to get some laundry detergent to wash his work clothes.
September 26th, 2023, Kamal was shot and killed on Savannah Street in Southeast D.C.
But I know it's somebody's child killed my child. People talk about killing somebody as if that's a badge. And I just feel like, and there's nothing we can do about it.
To date, there have been no arrests from those who are grieving.
The touch different when it's directly connected to you. I walk real faithful. And so I just, every time I think of my son, I just say, praise God.
To those working the crime scenes.
The Metropolitan Police Department is not stopping. We are doing anything, all ideas on the table, anything we can do to kind of bring down the actual carjackings, the homicides, and the violent crime.
To our neighbors who call the district home.
That family will miss them forever, and it's not something that's just like one headline or one moment in time.
Pamela Taylor.
The impact of these 274 lives taken is far-reaching.
DeMarcus Pickney,
Dante Tiller,
John Coleman,
Kajah McCoy,
Joshua White.
Here at WUSA 9 this year, you can count on us to track all homicides in the district so you can see what's going on in and around your neighborhood. It's a map that you can find directly on our website.
Yeah, hopefully we won't have to talk about this too much more in 2024. But, you know, as we see the violent crime going up in D.C., Simone, we know that based on your reporting here, it sounds like D.C. police, they're constantly trying to find new ways to curb this crisis, yeah?
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. In fact, in November, D.C. police say they did release a public safety plan, and some of that encompassed working on fighting crime from different angles. So think of things like task forces, think of things like youth safety initiative and intervention. And also, they say they're really trying to hold those who commit crimes accountable. And, you know, Inspector Kentis, who we spoke to, he said what really matters too is anytime the community can come forward after a homicide or something, he said any witnesses really help to close those scenes.
You know, on an emotional level, you can see that just reading the names of people who belong to people who are no longer here impacted the people who were reading the names. And I wonder what stuck out to you as you were doing this and talking to Jones's family?
Yeah, you know, I wanted to talk about just seeing the physical manifestation of how many people have died. Every single name has been written, and this is what people were reading, but these notebooks stacked up, each page has a single person on it, and just to see the physical space that it takes up and what it's meant to this community to see the damage done. Also, I wanted to talk about, you know, Myron's bravery to come talk to us about his son. The grief is deeply palpable when you speak with him, and just getting to hear about his son's smile and who he was in the world before he was killed. Again, that case is wide open, and there are many others like it back in 2023. But just getting a chance to connect with someone like Myron and to also speak with our neighbors who live here, and they say, hey, what can we do? And we know that's a complex and complicated.
Well, one of the things we can do is say their names, which they did so well and so poetically and so tragically, unfortunately.
We should point out a lot of those cases are not even solved. So if anyone in the community, if you know anything about any of these cases, these people, they should come forward.
Bravery.
Yeah, that's what it takes. All of us. Simone, thank you. And by the way, there's much more to discuss when it comes to DC crime. You will be able to find all of Simone's reporting a little later tonight on WUSA 9+. We'll be right back with the news at 6.